This is really interesting. So Jack Duffin does great stuff with salary cap and contracts. He has done the work here. Largest deals signed in 2011 and 2023, average per year. Quarterbacks in 2011, it was an $18 million a year average. 2023, 52.5. That's an increase of 292%. And take a look at the running backs. We've talked about this. There's the numbers to back it up. 14.2 in 2011, 11.5, a change of 81%, and that is negative. So it's 81% has been deducted from the highest value of a running back contract. That puts into perspective just how devalued the running back position is and how valued the quarterback position is.
You know, I'm looking at it like cyclically. I remember a couple years ago, remember a couple years ago that the Browns took Kellen Winslow Jr. in the top 5 or top 10. Eric Ebron went top 10, I think, and even Kyle Pitts has gone. He went top 10 or whatever to the Falcons. What you started to see is back in the day, people thought you would never. Why would you draft a tight end in the first round? They're glorified blockers, and we're only going to throw them the ball 5-6 yards down the field anyway. How many touchdowns are they going to catch? And then you started seeing, you know, your basketball players and all your athletes, long, rangy athletes, 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" guys that are red zone targets that can run. We're physical, could out jump corners and be big on safeties, running away from linebackers. And then all of a sudden you started to see the game switch. You got your Kelce's and your Kittles, and you got, guys that are very physical, Gronk, all those guys. You get guys that can run and be basketball players out there. So they became the new wave in the NFL. And so what happened? People started drafting them. People started converting those guys. Then you started seeing guys that usually would be traditional fullbacks no longer in the game. They got rid of that. But I think everything is cyclical a little bit. And I'll say this. All it takes is one team to figure out a way to incorporate running backs. And I say it like this. If you're going to have all these receivers on the field, the team that learns to run the football while having multiple receivers on the field, 3-4 receivers all the time, that team is going to cause it's going to bring back the running back emphasis, because when you have a running back and you can run the ball, when you have 4 receivers in the game or 3 receivers in the game, what happens is he's running the ball against linebackers that are your second team linebackers. They're not just starting strong side or Mike linebacker. You're subbing in your nickel package with linebackers that can cover. So now you already got guys that aren't really the best at tackling, because people don't tackle anymore in the NFL, especially in the offseason. Then you got linebackers on the field that don't really necessarily are for tackling anyway, because they're coverage linebackers. And then you have to sub in the diamond nickel package 2 more cornerbacks. And those cornerbacks, when you're in the game, have responsibility to contain and gap assignment. So if you get a team with, I said, Nick Chubb, and you get somebody with Deshaun Watson that can move, how do you stop Nick Chubb running downhill against small corners and linebackers that may weigh 210, 215? How do you stop that attack when you may have the combined quarterback runs where Nick Chubb leads in and Deshaun Watson is running the power play? How do you stop that if you still have Elijah Moore and some of the guys out here running jet motion, getting people out of the box and running the football? The team that is able to run out of those formations because there's so many DBs nowadays is going to have a distinct advantage. So I think running backs are still important. It's just going to take a team to find a creative way to feature those running backs, and then everybody else is going to catch up and say, well, hold on. There is some value in being said that I'm going to have a running back out here with guys that are a mismatch. Instead of 5.2 yards per carry, who knows? Nick Chubb might average 6.2 next year.